All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are so excited. I don't think we've ever done anything like this as AADT. This was an idea that came out of love, came out of love for Nicolette because she is one of our own. And we're super excited to do this for her because Nicolette is running this year in San Antonio. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about her race and what it looks like. But I just want to take this opportunity to kind of welcome all of you. My name is Nabila Mansour. I'm the president of Asian American Democrats of Texas. And really, we have the rest of our AADT family on with us. And so very, very super excited to do this. One of the goals of AADT is, of course, to make sure that we see Democratic candidates win, but also to make sure that we are ensuring our Asian candidates are uplifted and given the resources, the help, and the momentum they need in order to both run for a race, which is a very courageous thing to do. So we're very proud of you, Nicolette, for even just having the courage to run, and then B, to make it to the finish line. And so before we get started, there's not a lot of us here, and I think I know most people, but I don't know everyone. So I thought maybe we just popcorn it over, and I would, ask someone to just introduce themselves very quickly, and also maybe just share, in one word, how you're feeling right now about the upcoming elections. It could be the elections coming up in May, the primary runoffs, or the general. Just upcoming elections. Anyone you want. Just tell us your name, maybe your pronouns, and then how you're feeling about the election. And I don't know you, Edlin, so I would love to hear from you if you're there. If you could share with us a little bit about yourself and how you're feeling about the elections.
Yes, for sure. Give me a second. I'm trying to turn on my camera here. Hey guys. So my name's Edlin Roldan, and I work over at Texas A&M San Antonio in the registrar's office. I'm the assistant registrar. Today I'm working from home. That's why I'm running around the house getting my lunch. And how am I feeling about the upcoming election? I am feeling optimistic, mostly because we have a lot of topics that are very important to our community that every time elections come up, they get resurfaced. And it's unfortunate that we wait till those times to make this important to everybody across the board, but I'm excited to get that conversation going.
Thank you, Evelyn. And did you want to just choose someone amongst the grid?
Let me check it out. And so I don't know any of you guys other than Nicolette, so I look forward to meeting you guys. How about Miss Ashley?
Hi, I'm Ashley, she, her. I'm based in Austin. I'm our current DNC rep for Texas's AAPI caucus and just a big Nicolette fan. To be honest, I am anxious about all of the elections, which is why I'm here and why, Edlin, I love that you said optimistic so that I could be surrounded by optimistic people, but so that I could, focus on a local race that matters, that I know that we can win. That is definitely why I'm here, so that I can feel more hopeful than anxious. And I will send it over to David.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Nguyen, pronounced he, him. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I have the great honor of knowing Nicolette as a great friend. I'm very proud of just how far that she's come, and very excited too, is to really do this and really support her. Yeah, I've been with ADT and just really kicking it with the crew, and the Nicolette's one of them, and really she's a real badass. So like I'm really honored to really get to know her. Yeah, and now popcorn it to Victor.
Hey all, my name is Victor Tell. I'm based in the Austin area, or rather Pflugerville, or we call it Pflugerville, but that's how people read it sometimes. I guess one word I have to say about the election is just motivated. There's a lot of, y'all probably hear it so many times, but this election is the most important election of our lives, whether it be May or November. But it's an opportunity for us to change, how things are around us. And Nicolette is really awesome, and I'm really excited for her. And she's going to be a wonderful, not only wonderful candidate, but wonderful board member for our community.
And Victor, can you popcorn it to someone?
Oh, let me throw it. I'll popcorn it to Sean.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Sean Hassan, he, him. I am based in Austin, right smack in the center of town. As far as November, like Ashley, I am really anxious, really anxious about the federal elections. But I am very optimistic about May. And I think that's credit to folks like y'all, Ashley and Nabila and others, because I think it took us not too long to catch up to the other side of the aisle in realizing that these hyper local races are exceptionally important for a variety of reasons. They help us build a bench. They help us build pipelines of both volunteers and voters and candidates. And I think, of course, there's so many consequential decisions that happen at the local level. And I feel like y'all have just organized. We have a lot of love here in Austin, and I feel like y'all have organized that really quickly and well. And so I'm optimistic about May.
Sean,
Oh, should I popcorn it over?
Please, yes.
Yep. I will popcorn it over to Becca.
And Becca, we're just introducing ourselves and where you're based and just saying the word that describes how you feel about the upcoming elections, any of the elections coming up this year.
All the elections, every election. I'm Becca DeFelice. I am located in San Antonio. I am excited for Nicolette's election, mostly because I can't say how incredibly proud I am of Nicolette as a person, and also to have her representing us at the local level in local government, because we know that AAPIs are the margin of victory, not just by voting, but by running for office and inspiring other AAPIs to come out and vote and run in the future. So Nicolette is the point of the spear for political power and the movement of political power forward right now in this moment, and super happy to be here.
Thanks. And I think we have everyone.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being here today. We wanted to provide some more context for the folks who will be watching this later, but also for all of us here, because not all of us are as familiar with what this race is and what Nicolette is signing up for and why exactly it's so important. So we have Sean Hassan here, who is a current elected Austin Community College Board trustee. He served since December of 2016. I've personally, because I'm based here, I've personally seen what tremendous work he's done, and he actually made history as the first Muslim and first South Asian ever elected to public office in Central Texas, which is very exciting and wonderful, because we have our soon-to-be history-making Nicolette here, who will be following in his footsteps as well as another AAPI, continuing to serve and build up leadership across the state. He was a former public school teacher, and you guys have already heard him speak a little bit, so I think we should just go ahead and kick it over to Sean to share a little bit more about why this race matters so much.
Thank you, and thanks for having me, and I'll apologize again for having to sneak out early to my next meeting. But I will say before I talk about how important I think our community colleges these races are, and how important these boards are, just to underscore how critical it is, the work that y'all are doing, because I am fairly convinced that had it not been for enormous support, and back then it was like just Alice, like I felt like she was, she's still a force of nature, but she was the only force of nature, but folks like her and Victoria and others who quickly saw that, there was this young Asian running, and mobilized and pulled in other support from the Asian community, I'm not sure that I would have won. And I feel like we've evolved so much in these last 7 years. And it's a combination, like Nabila, it's your race and it's other, like now we're seeing what's happening in Fort Bend, but like somebody had to blaze the trail, right? And so I think here just to see kind of the presence of like ATJ and others, it's just like I just feel like we're in a different world. It's a lot of work still left to do, and but we wouldn't be equipped to even begin to do that work had it not been actually for folks like you and all of your colleagues. I won't name them, and others. And so we've got our like predecessors, the Alice's, and now we've got this generation of folks who are like coming of age and really like taking it forward and making it possible for folks who might think about it but not entirely know how to go about running, or may not have the confidence to put their name forward, to feel that, hey, there's going to be folks who have my back if I decide to do this. I think that means a lot. And I think y'all, maybe I'm grateful, and hopefully a lot of folks express their gratitude to y'all. And I just, I was sort of thrilled, Nicolette, when I started to learn about this race. I was saying this a little bit a while ago. Like, I just have seen how much we've been able to do, in each election cycle, as we were able to elect folks who really understood the needs of all in our community, who understood the needs of our, working students, the needs of our single parents, the needs of our immigrant students. You could start to see a shift in decision making at our board. And I'll kind of go a little bit out of order, but last year I was super proud that we passed a bond, a facilities bond, which we had done before at Austin Community College. And $800 million bond, it's a significant bond. In that $800 million, we were able to get $40 million for wraparound services, including mental health and childcare. And I know that when I started on the board, people were like, Sean, that's scope creep. We're an educational institution. We don't worry about childcare. That's for other organizations to do. And of course, there's room for partnerships. There's room for us to bring in people. But that is absolutely what we do if that's what our students need to be successful in the classroom. We provide mental health support, and we provide the supports that you need if you're food insecure, housing insecure, or without, a caring, safe place for your children. And that was one of those things that, like, it took a little while, but it was like we chipped away and we chipped away. And I remember, in one of my early budget cycles, I got like $1.5 million for childcare. And I was like, oh my God, this was such a victory. And it was a victory when we got the $1.5 million. And then a couple of years later, we were able to get this commitment that we made to the public that somehow, some way over the course of the next several years, we will ensure that we make that $40 million investment in these wraparound supports. And that's a consequential amount. That's a lot of money. And it happens at a community college board that, many, I think folks might otherwise overlook because, we're rightly so kind of focused on what's happening in DC or what's happening at the Capitol or at the Ledge. So I was like super thrilled to see this. I think, it's one of these things in life, Nicolette. I feel like, once you're elected, then the next city will see it, and the next city will see it, and pretty soon, we've got support across the board. I think, if I think of some other ways in which we've been able to really advance an important, I think, progressive agenda. When I started 7 years ago, the college's minimum wage was right around $13.75. It is now $22. And we did it first. I like to tell people we did it first. Before the city did it, before the county did it, we did it. And we were able to do it. And we took it. And it took like 7 years of like $1 here, $1.50. We paused during the pandemic. And then when we came back, we said, well, we paused. Now we need to catch up. And we were able to do that. And I remember, in 2017, when we first got elected, it was probably you know, 3 of us, maybe I'm trying to just go back, you know, go back through maybe 2 of us that kind of felt strongly about these. But as every cycle came, we were able to get 1 more or 2 more people, and we got to a point where I think we've been able to make some significant progress. During the pandemic itself, y'all will recall that there were some pretty backward kind of legislating coming out of the governor's office around not allowing for educational institutions to protect our staff and our students by ensuring that everyone wore masks. We were one of the few places that said, we're going to go ahead and take a stand here. And if the AG's office would like to take action, like, we'll prepare ourselves for that action. And I remember there too, it was like 3 of us, and we were coordinating with the, you know, with the mayor's office, Mayor Adler at the time, and with I think Judge Brown was already in with Judge Brown's office, and saying, hey, can you help us, give us some cover? Because if you can give us some cover, we can get some of our other trustees on board and supportive of this legislation. But we started like not in the majority, even at that point. We were like 3 of us on the board, and through a lot of quiet hustling leading up to that vote, we were able to turn our entire board, after many hours of debate and deliberation, on board. And most recently, just so thrilled that we passed free tuition for all of our high school graduates. I guess it's been like 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks. And that means that everyone who's in any one of our 26 ISDs across our 6 counties will be eligible for free tuition. Anyone who graduates high school and who gets their GED will have 3 years. And if they, you know, they'll have 3 years to complete as much as they can, and they should be able to complete their associates or a vocational certificate. If they do that, we'll give them another 2 years within which to get a bachelor's with us for free. We offer a limited number of bachelors, and it's a starting point, right? I'm anxious and eager to expand that to all adult learners in our district. Like my mom, she went back to school when we were in high school, and first started as a CNA and then became a vocational nurse. And so I know that at that time she would wait to buy one semester's books because she had to sell the previous semester's books to be able to afford the next semester's books. And so I know that each of those dollars matters so much. And so ours is a first dollar program, which I think is really important as well. There are some community colleges who have programs similar to ours, but the difference is that we give you the tuition free upfront. So you don't have to prove you need. You don't need to prove your GPA. As you know, you could be magna cum laude, you could be summa cum laude, you could be thank you laude. It doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna get, you're gonna get your tuition covered, which means that your Pell and your loans will allow you to cover books and living expenses and other necessities, because we're giving you tuition first, no questions asked. So a lot more work left to do on the free tuition, looking at how we support in areas like textbooks and how we expand this. I still feel it's a small pilot with a subset of our students, and we can scale it to our other populations over time. But super excited with that. All of that is to come back to say, like, Nicolette, I'm so thrilled that you're doing this. I'm thrilled that as a community, we're having your back. And I'm excited at all the great work that you can do, that we can do together. And I'm hoping that it starts something big across the state that, y'all will, Nabila, you and Ashley will then have to support, all of the candidates across the state, which I know you're excited to do anyways, and you're already starting to do. So more work ahead of us, but exciting impact if we can make it happen.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for those words. And just hearing all of the work that you've accomplished in Austin, I feel like I'm even more excited after Nick is elected, of like all of the brainstorming that you all will do together and like the new ideas you'll come up with. I'm just like, I'm even more pumped for all of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'll ask for forgiveness again for stepping out, and I look forward to catching up with all of y'all and plugging back into to settings like this. Is that okay, Ashley? Can I step out now?
Yes, you're excused.
Okay, awesome. All right, best of luck. Talk soon, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm gonna kick it over actually to David to do our intro. Yes, you're good.
Yeah, the moment that everyone's been waiting for. I'm really excited and have the great honor of just introducing just such a remarkable individual. She's like a true champion for our community and also someone that I'm just so proud to just call a dear friend. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Nicolette for over 2 years now, and honestly, like there's just so many incredible things I could just say about her, but we don't have the time right now. But some of the things I can summarize, and some of the words that just come to mind is that she is a fighter. The thing that really the big thing that really made me fall in love with her is just that her energy is just so contagious, and I've been able to just see firsthand the genuine passion that she just has for our community, whether it's like organizing community events, just leading workshops, or just simply like lending an ear to those who need it sometimes. Her dedication is really unmistakable, and she doesn't just talk about change, she really makes it happen, and I truly believe that when I say that. And she's proven consistently that she's just ready for the challenge. And I really believe that, a vote for Nicolette is a vote for dedication, leadership, and inclusivity. And so I know that she'll be a fantastic board of trustee. And so without further ado, I have the great honor of welcoming your next board of trustee for the Alamo Community Colleges District, place 6, Nicolette Ardiente.
Oh my gosh, I had to like either tell myself to laugh so I wouldn't cry, or I don't know what I was doing so that way things didn't come out of my face. Oh my goodness. Thank you, David, for that kind introduction. And I'm so filled with love to be surrounded by folks, not only of our community, but folks that just also believe in us and believe in this race. I have the distinct pleasure of honestly knowing all of y'all and working with all of y'all over the past couple of years. And make no mistake, I will always be your hype girl. I will always be your cheerleader. I will always support you 10,000 times over and over again, because I know that the work we do together uplifts our entire community. Again, when we lift one, we lift up all of us. And so I'm excited to embark on this new journey to run for Alamo Colleges District. Just to give a little story about who I am, especially for the folks who weren't able to join us and are on the recording. I'm the proud daughter of Filipino immigrants. And as every Filipino you may know is most likely a nurse, I am not one. Surprise. But I was always destined to be a nurse. And I want to share quickly just a little bit about myself and growing up. So again, I'm not originally from New Jersey. I'm not from Texas. I'm from New Jersey. But I have my bachelor's of science in international relations and diplomacy from Seton Hall University. Something I really pride myself. IR in diplomacy was my go-to because I wanted to serve folks in other languages, other countries. I wanted to be a cultured leader for others. And I give a lot of gratitude to one of my aunts who actually worked for the United Nations. And so with that, that's again why I love community. That's why I love like learning new languages. I love people. And I remember walking off the stage when I graduated Seton Hall, cap and gown in full like face makeup and everything. My mother still comes up to me and she goes, "Nick, are you sure you still don't want to be a nurse? You could still go back to school and become a nurse." And I thought to myself, I just walked off my graduation stage and you would like me to still be a nurse. But I get it. I understand it. And it's because it's rooted in our community and our culture as Filipinos that, being a nurse was going to mean that you were successful no matter what. You will always have a job. You will always have security. You will always be able to provide for yourself and for your family. And I understand that. But I wanted to provide care for my community, not in the way that my mom wanted. And as much as endearing as she is, I wanted to provide care in our communities by serving our communities. So being immersed in the folks that, called not only San Antonio home, but call our great state of Texas home. And so when I moved to San Antonio, I had nobody. I had no community. I had no Filipinos that I can find right away. And I thought myself, how can I find community? How can I build it? I used one of my greatest talents, which is actually piano, which I'm classically trained since I was 5 years old. I started teaching piano classes all around the city to learn more about the city, like driving around, of course, but honestly teaching. And that was like such a great like return of investments, as my mom likes to say too, of like, hey, all these years I paid for you to do piano lessons. Now you're giving it back to the community and teaching other children just the passion about what music is, passion about and confidence in music, to the point where I would host every single year recital for all of my students for free. So that way they would have the confidence and the, just, oh my gosh, this is my accomplishment. I get to show my family, my friends, and perform in front of everybody because I had a teacher who was so invested in me. And with that story, I share that from those moments, I continued to work in our communities. I continue to advocate for our communities. We started with the first ever Asian American Democrats of South Texas that started San Antonio and down all the way below. And from there became these fruitful relationships with folks like y'all on the call. I would be remiss if I didn't also say, like, Becca's also on the call, and we actually met before all of the other Asian American Democrat stuff. I remember meeting her for the first time. She was running for office, and I was like, oh my God, there's an Asian girl running for office. I have to talk to her. But then the pandemic happened, and then like we lost contact. I didn't reach out to her until actually she reached out to me a year and a half later and said, hey, let's go do some, let's make some good trouble in our communities. And ever since then, we've been advocating not only for, AAPI communities here in San Antonio and South Texas, but honestly, the greater San Antonio community. I'm also proud to share that I'm the president for the Bexar County Young Democrats. That started right before I was the voter registration co-chair. So I will tell every day until I die is that democracy is my love language. Talking about voting is my love language, and marrying the fact that civic engagement in our communities needs to be more robust is one of the biggest reasons why I'm trying to run for office here in the Alamo Colleges District. We're in San Antonio, we're nearly the 6th largest city in the nation, yet we don't have the representation that actually looks and reflects like our community. If elected, I would be the first Asian American Pacific Islander and also the first woman to serve in this district in northwest side of San Antonio. So not to say that this is like small potatoes, but I know that the challenge and the fight that I have and the passion that I have to serve for this district is rooted with not only my love for this community, the fact that I get to call San Antonio home, but the fact that I want to see San Antonio grow even more immensely. My previous background includes working for Visit San Antonio, which is the Conventions and Visitors Bureau that really makes sure that folks come and visit San Antonio. They spend their money, they have vacations here. They decide, hey, what does it take to actually take one trip and live here? And that was me. I took one trip to San Antonio and I was immediately hooked, and I never looked back because, again, I'm so rooted in this community and wanting to serve. I'd love to just end with this last note of, I really appreciate, again, the folks that are in this room who have taken the time out of their super busy schedules to host not only this event for me, but learn and talk to other folks about our race. This Alamo Colleges District is really important, as Board Trustee Hassan said, that school districts and community colleges districts, that's the heartbeat and lifeline of our community. Think about the folks that are able to use our programs, able to go to our schools. They reinvest back into San Antonio and live here. I will always say, and I'm sorry for folks in other cities, but San Antonio, there's something so special about it. It's got that small town feel, but big city, and every single day is honestly a great day to be proud to be Texan. And then lastly, I do want to also share that early voting starts next week. So folks that are investing in our race know that we are block walking every single weekend. We are phone banking every single day. We're talking to as many voters as we can because this is a low turnout race. It is smack dab in the middle of a primary that happened in March and then a primary runoff that's happening in a few weeks. So a lot of the voter fatigue, voter apathy, and just voter confusion is going to be really high at this time. So again, by y'all investing in our race, we're looking at, making sure that we're reaching folks in our community to let them know that this election's happening and that you're hopefully putting an advocate of this community up to serve and work for you. At the end of the day, I'm really excited that this is my first time running for office, as scary as this seems, but I know I have the support of this entire community, and I know I have the support of all of y'all to really make sure that y'all will hold me accountable and make sure that our students succeed, not only for students, faculty, administration, but the folks of San Antonio see that success living as that lifeblood in San Antonio. So thank you again. I'm so glad all of y'all are here with me.
Thanks so much, Nicolette. I think maybe we'll just open up for Q&A if there are any questions. We can maybe have an opportunity to ask them to Nicolette right now. I have a question. If no, so okay, so the school board, I'm sorry, the community college board, y'all serve all of San Antonio, or is this just a part? I don't live there, so and the area that you're serving, is that a particular part of San Antonio, or is it open to all of San Antonio for you to vote?
So the way that the board of trustees is mapped out, they're districted, so it's almost just like in different chunks all around the county. It is mostly the northwest side of town, so it takes basically two halves of different city council districts and smashes them all together. So there's about 144,000 voters in the district.
And is it one of the higher API districts, or
it's a mix, to be honest. It's got it houses UTSA, right, or UT San Antonio. It also houses a lot of the just more developing parts of the city. So as folks are kind of like a little bit moving out more into the suburbs, it includes Helotes, it includes like areas of Alamo Ranch, and just outside the 1604 loop. So for the most part, it's a growing area. I wouldn't say that it's the top of the API populations. More of our API populations are in the medical center and also in our Stone Oak area, which also has a growing medical center area as well.
But it's got like young people because of UTSA.
It's got young people. It's got people that are, folks that are not only just working class, maybe those are students, maybe those that are retired folks. Like, this is such a diverse district, and the representation that they need is somebody who's actually advocating and being in the community with them. I personally have lived in this district for the past 5 years, and prior to my election, I've never heard of the incumbent. So that's to say, as somebody who's in the community who doesn't know who's actually representing, I think that that's where that I can lend not only my strengths and my skills, but also the passion to, again, remind folks that you're electing somebody in here, your taxpayer dollars pay into this. How is this person best advocating for you? I know I am.
Thank you, Nicolette. Any other questions? Great. Well, then I'm going to go and just really go into the most important part of the fundraiser, which is asking y'all to please support our wonderful Nicolette. She is running this race. It is not easy to put yourself out there in this big way. And there are expenses when you run a race, right? You've got to buy signs, you've got to pay for all the things to make a campaign run, such as I don't know how you want to mute, or try to get your phone banking and your texting and all of that other good stuff. And so we want to make sure that Nicolette has all the resources she needs in order to run a really good campaign that allows her to reach her voters. It is not possible for Nicolette to shake every voter's hand in District 6 of Alamo College District, but what will allow her to make sure that she is getting her message across is giving her the funding she needs in order to get herself in front of other people in different ways. And that's going to be phone banking and door knocking and text banking and digital ads and mailers and all of those other things. And so I hope you guys will open up your wallet to make sure that we can give Nicolette the funding she needs to make all those wonderful things happen. So I'm going to make that pitch. We had said that we were going to end at 12:45. So we are pretty much on schedule. So hooray for us for doing that. And if there's anything else, does anyone else want to add something about this, about how wonderful Nicolette is? Yes, Becca, please.
Sorry, I just want to add this as the last little fundraising push, because I believe in Nicolette with all of my being, including my wallet, and I'm just so proud to be able to support her and invest in our community. I want to remind folks that 144,000 people in a Alamo College's district is almost as large as the 170,000 people in a state house race, with
Wow.
the difference being that Nicolette had just a couple months to run this race instead of like a year or two, and the budget that she's working with is much smaller. So just please, whatever you can give to help her talk to those voters, keep in mind how big this district is and how hard we all know Nicolette is going to work.
Wonderful. Thank you,
And
Becca.
she's an organizer, so we all know that she's spending our money wisely. That's like how I feel really good about that.
She knows how to do this. She's done this before. And this is someone who's been there for our community, right? So I think it's important that we're also there for her. So I hope all of you will give. Thank you for joining us on what is it today? Thursday afternoon on your lunch hour to make sure that we are showing our support for someone that is really one of our own. So I'm so proud of you, Nicolette. I'm so happy you're doing this, and we're behind you, and we're gonna watch you from Houston, from Austin, from wherever we're coming from to make sure that you get there. So let us know how else we can help. I have recorded this, and I will be sending, I think, David, let's send something out, the recording to all the folks on here, and we'll try to really make sure that we can share this with those that could not join us today. And like Ashley said, yes, let's try to text our friends to pitch in whenever they can. So Nicolette, thank you for doing what you're doing. And thank you all of you for joining us. It was so wonderful to see all of you. We will be in touch. Oh, Sarah is joining. Let me admit her. We're just about done. But everyone else, y'all are ready. Happy to go on with the rest of your day. I just want to make sure that we can talk to Sarah just a little bit before we end this. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you,
Nicolette,
everyone.
why don't you
Talk to
stay
y'all
on?
soon.
Thanks, guys, and color me yellow. I'm ready to be a minion and go vote for Nicolette, as she's part of the Northwest District that I live in as well. So, yes. Bye, guys. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.